Hey, Pepin.
Yo, Steve.
I was on the Twitter the other day and there were some people chirping at me.
Are they called chirpers?
No, they're called Twitter users, and there were some people who want to come on the show and tell stories. We've had the kind of ongoing series about breakup stories, dating stories, things like that.
Oh, do you have someone in mind?
There's a slew of people that we kind of have them all lined up at this point, but I think we should make this a thing that happens.
Guy that wants to call in. We need to talk.
We have with us here today a good friend of mine from he's actually in New York City right now. We're really lucky to have him on the show. Chris, how's it going, Chris?
Doing great, man. I'm lucky to be here, lucky to be a part of this. I listened to a show about Greek mythology, thought that was really good, so I'm honored to be here.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I did prompt you beforehand to kind of lift the skirt here. We're going to be talking about dating stories or breakup stories. I assume you came with at least a story that would kind of fit that topic.
Absolutely.
All right.
I guess I'll go with one that happened actually in Maine last weekend when I was there.
Oh, okay. So this is a very recent story.
Very recent. Yeah, it involves a hotel room, so whenever it involves a hotel room,
Bed bugs.
things can get a little steamy.
Now, have you used Tinder a lot? Has it been successful, or like how's that worked out for you?
Oh yeah, I compared Tinder to baseball. Yeah. You get 3 hits in 10 at bats, you're Hall of Famer.
I that's a very good analogy there. I like that.
Absolutely.
So was this a Tinder date in Maine here?
No, this wasn't, man. I go to Maine probably 2-3 times a year, and I tend to keep in touch with the ladies on Facebook. Build a pretty solid pipeline. Many of which will probably fall out of the pipeline after they hear this, but hey, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, and I mean the ones that stay in the pipeline are really the ones you want to get in their pipeline anyway.
Exactly, man. Always got to get in the pipeline.
Fantastic. So you were in Maine. You're checking in on your pipeline. Go on.
Yeah, so I'm checking in on my pipeline, and I'd been working a lot. I was on vacation, or just starting my vacation, and I put in a lot of hours. Usually about 60 hours a week. So I come to Maine. It's about an 8-hour drive. Really tired. Was hanging out with some family. Checked into a hotel, and then from there started trying to make some moves.
Okay. What quality hotel was it in on a star basis?
Actually, it was a Hilton, so it was pretty nice.
Wow. Okay. Was Paris there?
I wish she was, man. Then I might be able to get the kind of gift that keeps on giving, but unfortunately she wasn't.
Fair enough. So you check into a hotel. Is that when you start popping off on some locals?
Yeah, and I've been trying to pop off for a few days at that point. You make plans with like 3-4 different women, and it's like you always know some are gonna fall through. Like using the baseball analogy again. So you kind of got to build it up, make some plans, and one sticks.
Do you ever overbook? Like, say you book for like 3 girls, expect 2 of them to fall through?
Yeah. 3's probably the magic number.
Yeah. And then if 2 follow through, then you get to pick there.
Oh,
That's like a 3 and 2, right? Full count.
Yeah. And what I do in that situation is I will make up some kind of story like, hey, I'm at the casino with some friends. It's lasting a little bit longer than expected. Can we meet up in like 3 hours,
Okay. So kind of postpone, leave it on the table, and then take option A.
Exactly.
And then if option B is necessary, then you have that sitting there.
Exactly.
Okay. So what happened on this particular instance?
Yeah, so, I get to the hotel, resting, super tired. Actually, when I check in, I took a nap. And the girl that I was going to meet up with she's from Achaya, so she had to drive quite a ways. And so I taken a nap, get a text message from her, and she wanted to know which hotel I was staying at, and I tell her. And so I take another nap, or I guess it's a prolonging of the nap that I was already taking. And so I get another message from her letting me know that I was there. I was like, okay. So I get up, I go crack the door open, and the room number, I think it was like 213. Crack the door open, jump back in bed, and give her the room number, tell her to come upstairs. So I'm waiting. I get a phone call from her, and she's like, I'm at the door. Well, the door was popped open. So I was like, just push the door open. Come on in. And door doesn't get pushed open. I'm confused about what's going on. And I get another phone call because she hung up. And I get another phone call, and she's like, I'm knocking on the door. The door is not open. I was like, I'm in room 213. Nobody's knocking on the door right now. Then I start thinking, like, wait a minute, because she's like, no, I'm definitely at room 213 right now. So I get thinking, like, what the hell is going on? And I say to her, I'm like, are you at the Hilton? And she's like, yeah, I'm at the Hilton. I'm banging on the door right now. I was like, nobody's banging on the door. And I was like, are you sure that you're at the Hilton? She starts arguing with me that she's definitely at the Hilton. Well, 5 minutes later, she realizes she's at the Marriott.
Oh, man. Whoever was in 213 could have had a really good night.
Well, I was dressed like a prostitute, man, I'm telling you. She had these crazy boots on, the shortest skirt I've ever seen, and it was just crazy. But, yeah, I was thinking, because she said she heard noise in room 213, and I'm thinking, this is Bangor, Maine. They're probably cooking meth in there or smoking crack. Who knows what they're doing in that room, and probably were scared to death that somebody's pounding on the door. But eventually, 20 minutes later, she finally shows up.
So did you crack the door because you were, like, naked in bed?
I had boxers on.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Pretty naked.
Pretty naked.
Under the cover, I had some TV. I think it was like Law and Order playing or something romantic, just to kind of get the vibe going.
One of those SVU episodes, romantic.
Yeah, they just found a dead body in Central Park. It's like, this is really going to set the mood for this date here.
So when the girl got there, did you end up hitting it off with her? Did you like her? I mean, how did that go?
Yeah, I've actually already been with her before, so actually it's kind of funny because she comes in the room. She's, like I said, she's dressed like a prostitute. Trying, because I have a thing for that. I told her, I was like, dress really slutty for me, put too much makeup on, just look really slutty. And she did it.
She really got your goat there.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I'm laying there. This is actually, I'll take this even further. She she comes in, she takes this like little jacket she had on off, obviously smoked a bunch of Maine weed, because that's how she, missed the hotel. Like, went to a hotel like on the other side of town or something.
Now, when you say Maine weed, are you differing that with like New York weed?
Yeah. I love New York weed. Don't get me wrong, it's good. You get some of the same good stuff here, like sour diesel, whatever. But being from Maine, I've always had an appreciation for the weed there. I think the weed in Maine is much better than anywhere else I've smoked.
Really?
I think they're more scientific, more informed. I'd say the environment's a lot better for it, but I do think Maine weed's definitely better. They just take care of it better, and maybe the fact that medicinally it's legal gives them more leeway in terms of what they're doing. But I do think it's better, definitely.
So you marijuana connoisseurs, Maine is the place to be. And that has been officially stamped by Chris here today. And that is a check you can take to the bank with some certainty right there.
100%.
So she's a slut and she's baked So what's up?
Yeah, she's actually not a slut though. That's the thing. Like she's kind of going out of her element. So
Dressed like one. My apologies.
exactly, dress. I even said to her at one point, I said, if you knocked on that door and the person actually answered, the first thing they would have said to you is how much, how much rent. She did a good job.
Did she have an answer to that question, or
I'd say more mid-scale, 300 range,
Not too bad.
300 for a half hour.
oh well, there you go. That's some keeping up with the quality control.
Exactly. I'm not necessarily in the business of appraising properties. So
I think that would be
I'd say that's
a great business opportunity for you to start up.
Prostitute appraisal.
Definitely.
If there is ever a job with some great perks, that's got to be it.
Okay, man.
So, does the story go any further, or is the
Yeah. It goes further, a little further. So she comes in the room and she's like, "Oh, are you excited to see me?" Because it's been like a year since I saw her. Last time I saw her was when I had left for New York, and I didn't see her over the holidays. So I was like, I lied to her. I was like, "Yeah, I'm excited to see you." And so she starts taking her clothes off. It was like 5 minutes for her to take these like high-tech boots she had on. It's crazy. I think there's like GPS signal on those things. Like, I don't know, man. It was like smart boots.
To be fair, a nice pair of boots is extremely sexy.
Oh yeah, they were rocking, man. Absolutely. So she's over here, and then she takes these boots off after 5 minutes, and then she starts like taking her skirt off, and she's like, "Oh, so I have to undress myself?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm really tired." She takes everything off and slides into bed.
Wait, she was okay with that? She was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. She was like, "Okay." So she gets into bed, and I don't think I really need to go into much more detail. I would say that I probably gave her the best 25 seconds.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I think that's I think that's pretty respectable.
Exactly, man. I really tried to bring my A game on the stamina that night. I've been doing endurance workouts beforehand, so broke a personal record.
Well, that's a given when you got SVU going in the background.
Exactly. Do they do Maine and Tinder, or do they do Tinder and Maine? I mean,
Mostly in like kind of college areas, but not really. It's not so much a thing like around here.
So that sounds like a pretty good success story.
it's cool, man. That was a good time.
I wouldn't necessarily call that awkward, other than her dressed kind of slutty and knocking on a stranger's door. That's
Oh yeah. I don't think that's awkward at all, man. That was pretty cool, actually. I thought.
wait. So the people in the hotel seeing her go upstairs, like they had to know.
Oh
But,
yeah.
like
I guarantee you they were thinking this is a prostitute. I guarantee it.
the people at the first hotel, where she goes up, knocks on a door, and then like 5 minutes later she comes back down. What must they have been thinking?
I think they're probably thinking this was a no-show.
Oh.
Somebody called her up off what is it, Backpage or Craigslist, and didn't answer the door.
I guess that would be a thing with like clients with prostitutes. I guess I never really thought of that.
I was thinking that they would think that she's really good at her job.
Very efficient. You get about 5 in at $300 a pop in a half hour.
Very efficient.
You can great money.
Well, did you have another story you had time to go into?
The other one's quick. So yeah, if you want to hear the other one, it doesn't involve any hooking up or anything. Just kind of unusual circumstance. I think you probably don't come as much in Maine.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm on the subway one morning, man, and actually this is kind of crazy because like at my last job, when I first moved to New York, I worked for about 9 months selling software for a marketing company, and we would do these happy hours once a month, and they would happen on like a Thursday night. I think it was like the first week of the month, and so we have one of those happy hours, and I get completely shit-faced. And, you know, that's kind of the norm at these happy hours. You get completely wrecked. So I get on the subway completely hammered. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And so the subway from where I was in Midtown, it's like 3 stops to get to my apartment. And I kept falling asleep on the subway. So I went all the way uptown, all the way back downtown, and like 3 hours passed, which would normally be like a 15-minute subway ride before I actually get home.
So you did a couple of rounds on the subway.
Did a couple of rounds on the subway, man. Yeah, passed out, fell asleep, woke up. I'd be like 3 stops past where I was supposed to be, fall back asleep, and then I would have gone all the way across town and back and woke back up.
Ugh.
That's actually a common thing here, man. That happens to people all the time.
How crowded was the sub at that time?
You know, it was probably a little more crowded when I first got on it at like 11 o'clock. When I woke up the first time, I think it was like maybe 1 o'clock, and it was not nearly as crowded. And then I think when I woke up the second time, it was like 2 o'clock. It was even less crowded.
Is that why?
And then I think I got home at like 3, I think, that morning.
Is that why New York is the city that never sleeps? Because when they do, it's on the subway, and it really costs them some time.
Well, yeah, you can look at it that way. I think that's a good theory.
So these subways run 24/7?
They run 24/7, yeah. Like after, say, about 11 o'clock, you'll notice that it kind of, the service will slow down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like normally you can catch a subway like every 3 minutes during the daytime. Come like 11 o'clock, it's like every 20 minutes to catch a subway. So it just kind of takes a little longer to get where you're going unless you catch it at the right time.
Are they moving slower, or are they staying at stops longer?
They move the same speed. It's just, for one, they're making local stops, like instead of express. So like express, it's gonna skip like 3 streets and just hit like every 20 streets or so. When it's local, it's like every 10 streets. So there's just more stops, and there's just longer time in between when they're actually running from one to another.
Fair enough. So we have some great background on the subway. So let's delve a little bit into the dating related escapades here.
Yeah, actually, the funniest part is that had nothing to do with really the story. So you know, I fall asleep at like 3. I wake up the next morning. It's like 7. I was like, oh shit, I got to get to work. I got to be there at 8 o'clock. So I'm all disheveled. Take a quick shower, hop on the subway, and there's this beautiful woman on the subway. Just looked absolutely gorgeous, and this woman just appears to be really into me. Just kept looking at me, making a hot and heavy eye contact. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, man, I got to get shit-faced more often and just miss a bunch of subway stops.
Now, do you think that maybe she was super beautiful because you were kind of drunk?
Well, yeah, you know, I think that's very possible. I do. I think I was still probably a little drunk that morning, possibly.
So so you think that you look, you know, subpar, but obviously you're on top of your game. Like a little disheveled is where Chris hits his sweet spot.
So, dude, this is crazy. So this chick, you know, she keeps staring at me, and I'm thinking, like, okay, like, you know, maybe I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like, you know, I know I'm a very beautiful man. No, not really, but, you know, she's staring me down, everything, you know, just looking me up and down. So I go to get off the subway, and she had actually written her number down on a piece of paper and handed it to me, which is unusual.
Unusual in general for you?
Yeah, for me. You know, like on a subway ride, that just doesn't happen. You know, people usually don't even make eye contact on the subway.
Yeah, I mean.
So yeah, I thought it to be pretty unusual.
To be fair, I've only had that experience once, and it was not on a subway. So I mean, hats off to you. Although to be fair, you are a very handsome man.
Well, thank you. Greatly appreciate that.
So you get her number on the low.
Yeah. So I get her number. I text her later that day, and you know, she's like, I text her. I'm like, hey, I'm that guy on the subway who you gave your number to, and I'm thinking, I don't know if there was more than one guy on the subway she gave her number to or what, so that might not. But she remembered me. We get to talking, and here's the punchline. Here's the ending of the story. She asked me if I am into transgender women.
And are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
But she was a transgender woman.
pre-op, post-op?
I couldn't tell you, man.
You didn't.
I just told her that I wasn't, and thanked her for her time.
You didn't dig that hole.
No, I
You
didn't.
didn't. You didn't.
I
You didn't.
a couple of nights there where the well was dry, where I was thinking like, geez, where'd that number go?
Well, I know something with transgenderism and people who do transition. A lot of times they get no operation, especially if you're going from male to female. Because going from male to female with the down below operation is very, very hard and it's often not very successful. So probably just hormones, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was, man, but yeah, it was kind of a shocker, to say the least.
I think you. I think if she was very beautiful, you missed an opportunity there. That's a great New York City subway opportunity.
To this day, man, I'm telling you, I thought she was a beautiful woman.
And she was.
Now it's a little cloudier, and like probably the alcohol and all of the drugs I did the night before probably had something to do with that. But you win some, you lose some.
I mean, I've seen trans people who are extremely beautiful. I don't think that discredits them at all.
Oh, not at all.
If she saw it, she saw it.
I agree. Just in terms of sexually attractive, like would I want to hook up? No, I wouldn't want to.
So it's like you want to hook up with the top half, not the bottom half.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's just more of a matter of like, I mean, the FCC is probably going to fine you for this, but I like vagina, man.
The FCC can suck my cock.
Oh my, man. That's going to be a big fine.
I don't think so. I think that they're going to find me fine, and then they're going to suck my cock. So you happen
Awesome.
to appreciate vagina,
Yeah.
and this woman did not happen to have one, and therefore you did not want to partake.
Nothing more, nothing less, man. That's all it was.
Fair enough. That's that I can see why that story kind of fits in here. Being something a little more outside of the norm of what, especially somebody from upper Northeast is used to at this point, in our societal culture. Especially with the alcohol being involved. That's actually a great story,
Thank you.
and I think it really portrays just how handsome you are.
Oh my, man. You're flattering me right
I'm
now.
trying.
You are just
Gonna
flattering me.
slip you my number, but we know how that goes.
Might give you a call, man. Depends on how high quality the wig is that you're
I'm
wearing.
digging this. I'll make sure I get the right hotel. So
All right, I hope you're bummed.
I got a pretty short skirt for you.
And a lot of makeup.
So we here at We Need to Talk really like to try and give back to the community that supports us. If you had words of wisdom based off of the stories you've told today that you would pass on, you had one thing that you wanted to pass on to our listeners, what would that be?
I got to go back to that baseball analogy. Strike out at the plate. Don't get down on yourself. I see all of these guys, they walk in the club, they go on Tinder, they have a bad day at the ballpark, and they're like, oh gosh, this game isn't for me. And I think that the moral of the story is, I don't know if there's really a moral, but where I'm going with this is that you're going to lose a lot, you're going to strike out, but you get 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. You just got to keep your head up, stay positive, and keep grinding.
I like that.
People got to take rejection well.
I like that. So in this analogy, if a girl comes to you, is that a walk?
I'd say that's a walk right there.
Fair enough.
That might be that might be a walk and then a pass ball where you get straight to second base. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it. And of course, consent's important. Don't be stealing bases.
Exactly. Might get thrown out.
Get thrown out. Oh boy. Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you being on.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate your time, and it's been great to be on the show.
Yeah. Well, again, I hope you'll consider coming on again in the future, and I wish you the best of luck. Best of luck out there in NYC. I know if anybody can make it in. If anyone can make it in that hustlers environment, it's you.
Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a good night.
You as well, Chris. Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Love the show? Give us a rating on iTunes. Really like us? Well, guess what? We have Patreon. And in Patreon, you can donate directly to us with money. This will really help support the hosting costs and all the other kind of stuff. Also, we're on Facebook at www.facebook.com/We Need to Talk Show. And Twitter, WTD1. And yeah, send us a message, get in touch with us. And yeah, we need to talk.